Machine Learning with Diana. Introduction.
Hi, my name is Diana. I'm high school junior in the Coding School's Introduction to Artificial Intelligence course. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about machine learning. Now, as you may know, the world of artificial intelligence has brewed up a storm. It's nearly impossible to not hear news about the latest happenings of artificial intelligence, especially with the growing popularity surrounding machine learning algorithms like ChatGPT. We often hear the words artificial intelligence and machine learning being used interchangeably in the news, but there is a difference to them. So, what is machine learning? Machine learning is a branch of artificial intelligence that trains computers with data to imitate the way humans learn. Believe it or not, computers are actually pretty dumb. Well, for humans, it is easy to distinguish between a blueberry muffin and a chihuahua. It can be very difficult for a computer. Even being able to distinguish either one in the first place can already be a challenge enough for a computer. Just like how you would teach a toddler how to walk, teaching a computer how to think and learn like a human is challenging, as every step in the learning process needs to be precise and broken into very small steps. Now, what are those general steps for a machine to learn how to do human tasks? Let's dive a little bit deeper into the 7 steps of machine learning.
The 7 steps.
The first step to the machine learning process is gathering data. Now, what is this so-called data? Well, the data is basically just information that we need in order to train our model to solve the problem we are seeking to solve. So let's say that we want to create a machine learning algorithm that can recognize an image of a cat. The data that we're going to be using for our algorithm is probably just going to be including a lot of pictures of cats. When we collect our data, we need to ensure that the data that we use is actually useful and relevant to the problem that we're trying to solve with our machine learning algorithm. The second step is preparing your data. Now, let's be real. The real world is pretty messy, so data can also be very messy. So, a lot of the raw data that is out in the world can have missing values or include irrelevant features that won't help us solve our problem. Now, when we remove irrelevant features and choose ones that are actually useful, that is what we call feature selection. When we remove irrelevant features, we get rid of noise, which you can kind of think of just getting rid of a bunch of distractions to our machine learning algorithm that is not going to help solve the problem that we're looking to solve. So that is why we need to ensure that our data is clean, processed, and prepared for analysis so that we can actually make sense of what our machine learning model outputs. Now, the third step is splitting our data. Now, we need to split our data into 2 parts. Now, one part is going to be our training set, and the second part is going to be our testing set. The training set is used to train the machine learning model, while the testing set is used to determine the performance of how good or bad our model is. Moving on to the fourth step, which is, in my opinion, the fun part, is choosing our model. Now, there's a lot of models out there, so it can be a bit difficult to choose one based off of just how many there are, but you need to carefully choose one that will help you solve the problem you're looking to solve effectively and as not necessarily quickly as possible, but just in general, just very more just effectively. Again, there are so many machine learning models, and there's different categories and a bunch of models within each category, but just in general, there are 3 main categories, which include unsupervised, supervised, and reinforcement learning. Now, of course, there's a bunch of other categories within those three, but that is what you need to know. I can make a video in itself of talking about all the different types of models out there, but we won't get into that today. So, now we're going to be moving on to the fifth step, which is training our model. Now, training the model basically just means having our algorithm learn from the data and try to identify patterns to help make predictions. That is all that our training of our model will look like. Now, our second to last step is after training the model is evaluating our model by using the testing set. So if you remember, when we split our data into two parts, that testing set is used to determine how good or bad our model is. So we need to ask ourselves, how accurate or how precise was the model? If our model performed well, then yay, we got ourselves a well-performing machine learning model, and that's really great. But more often than not, your model will not be perfect. So the final step in this whole machine learning process is to tune the model so that it is adjusted in a way that it can perform better. Now, there are different techniques to tuning your model, but we won't go into detail for that today since it actually can get pretty complex. Well, there you have it. Those are the 7 steps of machine learning. Kind of lengthy, huh? Well, now that you know the basic steps of creating a machine learning model, I hope that you can maybe go out in the real world and create your own. Now, obviously, there's actually a lot of coding involved, but I mean, hey, if you want to create your machine learning model, create one, Now you kind of know just the basic steps that go into it. All right, so I hope you learned something today. Be on the lookout for more machine learning and AI videos. Make sure to like and subscribe. I love you all, and remember to stay nerdy.
Thanks for watching. Until next time.